Martell Holt has been through many ups and downs in his personal life. His love life, family struggles, and health issues have been frequently in the headlines. From his public divorce with Melody Holt to his relationship with Arionne Curry, everything about Martell has been intensely scrutinized. But recently, something has shifted in his life. Martell found himself fighting a serious health crisis that left everyone wondering what would happen next. And the person who seemed to be the most affected by it all was Arionne Curry. For those who don't know, Martell Holt is a reality TV star, known for his role on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Over the years, he's been at the center of many controversial moments. His public divorce from Melody and his affair with Arionne have created a cloud of drama surrounding his life. But behind all the cameras and the drama, Martell's life took a sudden and unexpected turn, one that has left his fans and loved ones asking more questions than ever. Martell's health problems started quietly, creeping in over time. At first, he dismissed them, brushing them off as nothing serious. After all, stress had become a constant companion in his life. From his turbulent marriage to Melody, to the pressure of his public persona, to the ongoing drama with Arionne, his life was anything but peaceful. But as the days went on, Martell could no longer ignore the signs that something was terribly wrong. The symptoms started slowly: fatigue, coughing, chest pain, and a growing difficulty in breathing. Martell, however, wasn't the type of person to slow down. He believed he could handle it, just as he had handled the constant stress of his personal life. But when one night his condition took a drastic turn, Martell was rushed to the hospital in the middle of the night. The situation became critical, and he was quickly admitted to the ICU. The doctors were worried. It wasn't just stress anymore, it looked like something much more serious was at play. As Martell lay in the ICU, sources close to him revealed that there was more to his condition than anyone knew. What seemed like a heart problem at first was only the tip of the iceberg. Martell had been struggling with his mental health for quite some time, and the overwhelming stress of his personal life had taken a heavy toll on his body. But it wasn't just the physical pain he was battling. Martell was also facing an internal struggle, one that had been brewing for months, if not years. His relationship with his children was strained, and the guilt of everything that had happened in his personal life was weighing heavily on him. While Martell's health was worsening, something else was happening that caught the attention of many people. His usual social media presence disappeared. Martell, who was always active online, stopped posting, stopped commenting, and stopped updating his followers about his condition. This sudden silence raised more questions than answers. Was Martell hiding something? Was his condition worse than he let on? His fans, friends, and even his family were left in the dark about what was really going on. It wasn't long before rumors began to swirl. Was Martell's health crisis related to all the stress from his public life? Could this be the result of the constant drama that had surrounded him for so long? While Martell had been open about his struggles with depression in the past, it seemed like this health scare was forcing him to face the consequences of ignoring his mental well-being for so long. The real turning point in Martell's journey came when he realized that he had been downplaying his health problems for far too long. His pride, his image, and his desire to control the narrative had prevented him from seeking help when he needed it most. Now, lying in that hospital bed, Martell had no choice but to confront the reality of his situation. He was vulnerable, and for the first time in a long time, he had to face the fact that he could no longer manage everything on his own. As Martell's condition worsened, one person's absence became glaringly obvious: Arionne Curry. Arionne had always been a controversial figure in Martell's life. She was at the center of the drama with his ex-wife, Melody, and the public scrutiny surrounding their relationship had never been easy. But as Martell's health declined, people started to wonder, would Arionne be there for him now? Would she step up and support him in his time of need? To everyone's surprise, Arionne stayed silent. Her absence from the conversation was deafening. For someone who had been so vocal about her relationship with Martell in the past, her lack of response raised even more questions. Was she still involved in Martell's life, or had their relationship finally come to an end? Was she staying away out of respect for Martell's family, or was there something else going on behind the scenes? Martell, for his part, couldn't help but wonder if he had lost her for good. The drama surrounding their relationship had taken a toll on both of them, but Martell had always believed that there was a chance for them to rebuild. Now, though, it seemed like Arionne was slipping further away from him, and he was left to face the consequences of his actions without her by his side. In the midst of his health crisis, Martell had a moment of clarity. As he lay in that hospital bed, reflecting on his life, he realized that he needed to make things right. Not just for himself, but for the people he had hurt along the way. He knew that he had made mistakes, big ones, but he was ready to face them and try to rebuild the relationships that mattered most. One of the first people he reached out to was Melody, his ex-wife. Their divorce had been painful, and their relationship had been fractured by his affair with Arionne. But Martell knew that if he wanted to move forward, he needed to start by healing his relationship with Melody. He wasn't trying to rekindle their romance, but he did want to rebuild their respect for each other, especially for the sake of their children. To his surprise, Melody responded cautiously but with some openness. While their marriage was over, they were both willing to try and create a new relationship. One that was centered around their children and mutual respect. It wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight, but Martell was determined to make it work. He knew that healing wouldn't happen on its own, but it was a step in the right direction. At the same time, Martell found himself still reaching out to Arionne. Despite everything that had happened between them, he still cared for her and wanted to make things right. But Arionne remained distant. It was clear that the emotional scars from their tumultuous relationship ran deep, and she wasn't sure if she could trust him again. For a while, it seemed like Martell was caught in a difficult position. He was trying to rebuild his life, to atone for his past mistakes, but he couldn't do it alone. He needed support, and the people closest to him had all been affected by his actions. As time went on, however, Martell began to realize that he had to focus on healing himself first. He couldn't change the past, but he could shape his future. Martell's health gradually started to improve. The road to recovery wasn't easy, but he was determined to make it. As he regained his strength, he also began to rebuild his relationships. His bond with Melody grew stronger, and while things between him and Arionne were still uncertain, he held on to hope that one day they could find a way to move forward together. In the end, Martell's story is one of redemption and self-discovery. He went from a man consumed by pride, mistakes, and the pressure of public scrutiny to someone who understood the importance of healing, both physically and emotionally. His journey was far from smooth, but it was one that taught him valuable lessons about the people who matter most in his life and the work it takes to show them that you are worthy of their love and forgiveness. While Martell's future with Arionne remains uncertain, he knows that he has a chance to rebuild his life for the sake of his children and for himself. And maybe, just maybe, he will find a way to heal the wounds that have kept him from truly moving on. But for now, the most important thing is that he's still fighting, and that's something worth holding on to. As we continue to watch Martell's journey unfold, one thing is clear: his story is far from over. What comes next for him, Arionne, and the rest of his family will no doubt keep us all on the edge of our seats.